And so we're interested in the foundation, the economic and business foundations of new media, and so that's what brings us here to Pamplona.
Yeah, it's interesting because you say that IMMAA tries to integrate media and the economics and managerial perspective, and sometimes when, as you and myself, I mean, I work in a school of communication and teach in a school of communication, and sometimes people, and also students think that media is in one side. I want to be a journalist, I want to work in media, but there are some economic and managerial constraints that make that the media profession cannot be developed as well as it could be. Do you still have the hope of media and economic and managerial perspective can be integrated?
Well, I mean, it has to be, because ultimately there has to be an economic base for activities. Traditionally in journalism in particular, there was the separation of the content-oriented people and the publishing business side. But without a functioning publishing model and business, the journalists would have no jobs. There would be no journalism. And now we can see this with the new technology emerging, making new forms of media possible.
I mean, in this school, I think we were very much pioneers in the sense of starting the media management department within the School of Communication. So Professor Alfonso Nieto, who was the first director of that department, but that was something that it wasn't very well understood sometimes, because media management as such, as a discipline, I mean, I think it's quite young, but it's also very interesting, I think.
It really is, and your school has been indeed a pioneer. You have more people interested in it, working on it. You recognized it earlier. My own institution, say, Columbia University, has a very famous journalism school, but there's very little economic business dimensions to it. It is a journalism school, not a school of communications, not a school of management of communications. So you really have been a pioneer.
Yeah.
And so another good reason to be here and to see it actually in person.
Yeah. And it's also very interesting because, I mean, now when people access to information and entertainment very much for free, I think the topic of the conference goes very much to the root of who pays for it, where is the content, and where can we get profit for that? How can we pay people who are working as a journalist and producing content and producing information and entertainment? So I think this is especially right now where everything can be accessed. I mean, most of the can be accessed for free.
We have this kind of divergent trends that more people are producing content than ever before, because the technology is more accessible, more people can work, can write, can distribute, can film, but fewer and fewer people are paying for the content. Sometimes they don't have to pay, and sometimes they refuse to pay and become pirates. And so the media companies therefore have a real problem. And it doesn't help that they're also often more conservative and traditionalist in their management attitudes. They think that because things have worked well for them for the last 50 or 100 years, that will also be the future. And that's an observation around the world.
But we are also very enthusiastic about the idea of talking about the next step of digital, because a year ago we started in our school the Center for Internet Studies and Digital Life. So it's a center which is kind of an umbrella of all the research that our professors have already done, related to the internet, but from different perspectives. And we are also involved in new projects, one with the Reuters Institute for Journalism concerning digital news, information, and so on. So we are also very happy of hosting with IMMAA this conference in this context in which we want to go a step forward on the research on internet and so on. So
I think I'm really glad that you're doing this, because the changes of media of the last 10 years combined with those that we can expect in the next 20 years, that this generation will see the greatest changes in media content and technology and business and industry ever in the history of media. There's been nothing like it, and possibly there will nothing like it in the future again. But this transition from mass media to much more individualized, personalized, customized, immersive type media that we're experiencing will not be just the same information on a different channel, on a different distribution platform, but it will also change the very nature of the content and the genres of the content. So we're really in an exciting time, and it is, we're in some ways very fortunate to be in it, but the companies involved in it, on some level they have opportunities, but they also have major threats and challenges, and many of them will probably not be successful in the future because the old models doesn't work anymore.